Power Girl #3, written by Leah Williams, with art by Eduardo Pensico, Julio Ferreira, Ramallah Fajardo Jr., and Becca Carey. So we do continue this play that there's a Kryptonian virus out and about.
But as we saw before, the idea that it's a Kryptonian virus, but from the Krypton that this Power Girl came from a parallel universe.
Well, and then
maybe
what Leah Williams does then in this is then start to add things that we weren't really able to see, adds information. At one point, I didn't know, and I don't think it was ever said, that only one person has this at a time, because it seems like a lot of people have it right now. You even have Blue Earth freaking out in Metropolis in this very issue, yelling, "Oh my God, there's a Kryptonian virus." I don't even know how they know that, because Superman said we have to keep it on the down low. It seemed that the only two people that knew it were Page and Clark.
Like, is Laura Stern, like, figuring shit out and letting the cat out of the bag about this Kryptonian virus, getting all the rabble-rousers freaking freaked out about things?
Who knows? And I don't know, because in this, you're fudging things. But why are you fudging it? You're actually making the story as we go, but yet you still seem to be I looked at the body that was the one victim in this coastal town, and I saw that his white blood cells were higher. That must mean parasite. No, that would also mean a virus. Just like you said, like, it doesn't make any sense. And everybody would have been able to see this. The doctors, when they end up doing any tests, they would have known that. The play, though, is like, she's trying to fudge that into
these Bush League doctors.
One person at a time. Why? The whole play of this was Superman said, you have to figure this out. It could wipe out the world. What, one person at a time?
One person at a time, exactly. That's the whole thing. This idea of a Kryptonian virus from a parallel Krypton that no longer exists was a cool idea, because how the fuck do you make that work? And all you have by the end of this issue is a parasite that's body hopping from person to person, evidently looking for Page this whole time.
Yeah, just looking, because it actually is the symbiote ship.
Symbiote ship! It's just... And even the idea where it comes from that freaking lion that was introduced in the Fortress of Solitude Zoo. But just the idea.
But it's not quite what I said. I will admit that.
It's not quite, but just the idea.
It's a bridge.
We have the idea. It is a bridge, but for some reason, this Kryptonian lion that wouldn't be from Page's Krypton, but it's infected with this parasite, but also it seemed before this parasite, the lion somehow escapes the Fortress of Solitude in the Bermuda Triangle, somehow gets to land, and is able to infect other people, or when it was just out doing its little jaunt, it was infected by that last person who had it and died in that freaking Bermuda Island.
Here's the thing. You have the Bermuda Triangle. I'm not a geographical guy, but I kind of think that that's out in the ocean, right?
I would think so.
In the meantime, and that's where the fortress is.
Is this asshole lion like Crypto? It's got Kryptonian powers flies around?
It doesn't seem like that happens. So
no. What's it getting that solar radiation?
This is what I'm saying. The weird play of this is it almost feels like Page got the parasite to then pass it on to the lion so the lion could pass it back to her. It feels very odd, because there's no connection between the lion and this. That's a coastal town. I think that Leah Williams, you tried to give her some credit. Hey, there still could be that Bermuda Triangle thing. It seemed like that might not be.
Look, the Bermuda Triangle fortress thing works
for me. It's the lame fortress, we said. But
it is. It's still there, though. I'm fine with it.
I think she thinks that this fortress, I think she thinks it's like right on the coast. I don't even think because even then, when you have this we don't really know what the fortress was, but you have this lion kind of slip out and looks like he goes to the cliff of the fortress. But what is that? And then you have this coastal town thrown in. It makes no sense. We didn't know when she got to that town. A house was blowing its stack. She pushed that down, hurricane. And that was it. And now it's almost like that we should have known that there was that victim. She went to see him. In the meantime,
and then there was Amarak, and then Amarak got away.
Yeah, what is going on in this?
Well, Page just lays there almost in the fetal position crying to Superman. All this happened, but you know what? Symbiote ship can't be symbiote ship, Page. We destroyed that thing. But what if we didn't?
And so you even have the play where Superman's like, listen, we got rid of the symbiote ship.
2 symbiote ships coming for you.
I got to get the thing. She's like, oh, man. And even that where she's like, he says, I might ask, though, why is it you wanted to meet in this room specifically? Because they're there. She's there with this lion. And that's right after he says, listen, the symbiote ship isn't a thing. I was there. We took it apart. That's impossible. She's like, well, I'm having nightmares. Well, so did everybody else. It was one night, one nightmare. Stop. So then he says, why did you want to meet in this room specifically? She turns to look at the lion, and in her mind, she says, I'm sad about the lion, but she can't tell that to Superman for some reason and says, I don't know, I'm sorry. And then flies away, maybe, because then he's
Power
right
girl.
there. Then Clark says, well, I think that you got to hang here. At one point, just says, why don't you get out of my hair? Call your friend Omen.
Look,
But
I got Metropolis shit to do. Call Omen.
Then says, Kalex is here. He'll be able to help you with anything. She's like, robot? Oh, my goodness. The robot, I'm not going to trust Kalex right away. Like, everything is so wacky in this book. He leaves. He's like, sayonara, sucker. He gets out of there. Nothing's solved because it doesn't make sense. I think Clark's like, I got to get out of this cuckoo clock. This is fucking bullshit, and leaves.
You have Karen. I keep want to call her Karen because, Power Girl. But
yeah,
Paige is feeling sorry for herself in the Fortress of Solitude because she can't find Amalek. Her fucking lion friend that she just found out about is dying. We have a freaking virus that's going around that might be her fault. And also she thinks the symbiote ship and nobody's taking her seriously about this. That's the majority of what's going on with Paige. Lilith Clay Omen, she's actually doing more of the adventure.
She's roller skating her.
She's roller skating around.
Girls like roller skating.
And then comes across the Blue Earthers who are doing terrorist shit in Metropolis, doing riots and stuff. And she takes them out. But the biggest problem with that is she takes it too far in my mind. She freaking uses their mind to let her know what's been going on, why they're doing this, and then wipes their mind of everything they know about all of this. I'm like, look, we're going to do identity crisis shit here. Right? I'm like, please stop this, Lilith.
Even when you have that, they're rioting. There's easy ways to connect this. You want to put Blue Earth? Okay, cool. You're getting these things going
Metropolis, on. Why not?
In this book, Paige had set up alien tech auction that went really bad and seemed to be remember, Blue Earthers were protesting it at the dock.
As they should.
Just do that. In this, though, they're protesting the deadly worldwide virus that nobody knows about.
A human-killing Kryptonian virus has been released. 3 are dead so far. It's the end of the world. Kryptonian virus? So this is why Power Girl wouldn't let me in on her mission.
And this is the play here. When you end up having these people dead, one of them being at that coastal town, I don't think there's any way, and the way that, Superman had spelled it out already, that any doctor would be able to figure out what this was, especially because it's a virus from a non-existing Krypton. So the idea that suddenly everybody knows about it, they are writing, that alley has 7 trillion people in it. Maybe the Thalamus engine is doing this, but then she wipes their mind.
The weirdest part is, when this is going on, all I can think of is now we're going to have the Sovereign turn everybody against the Kryptonians and get them off of the world, too. Just like Wonder Woman, the dead, 17 people killed by an Amazon.
Just imagine me and you are Blue Earthers, right? I know for you it's not much of a stretch, right? So you're there. We're like,
I could have any filthy alien lording over me.
Krypton equals kill. I want a good slogan. I'm just reading.
That's a terrible slogan.
Yeah, that's not really good.
This thing's, I would be a part of this just because I have these ideas where look, I can't trust any of these aliens. But the thing is, once I see them write their slogan and realize how lame it is, I'm out because I can't be a part of this.
Say good night. Get the kryptonite. We'll do that. We're arming ourselves.
Honestly, I don't even want to be a part of chanting because that's just not how I roll. So I don't want to be I'm going back home watching some Doctor Who.
You don't like chanting?
Who's also an alien who I love, so it doesn't make much sense.
Aliens, go! Back to the volcano. We'll do that. That'll really upset Lois and Clark. That'd be awesome. John's like, yeah, John actually is there.
I get it.
It's almost that.
He's up in the ante here.
In the deal. He's right there with the thing. But what happens when me and you are there? Just say we're there. We don't like slogans, but we love the signs. You came up with Krypton equals kill.
I love good slogans. I don't want to chant them, though.
I'm trying to think of the other things. Nobody wins. Let's kill the twins. Can we do that? Would that be good?
Look, the only thing I might have on a sign is Earth is for humans.
See, I don't have a rhyme for that, Eric. Right?
It's not a rhyme because I'm not chanting shit.
Krypton's bad worth. Get off our Earth. So what I'm saying, though, is the minds are wiped. Minds are wiped, right? And then we're like, oh, man, what the fuck is this sign? They're holding Krypton equals kill signs. What are they going to think once they're going to remember it? They're going to be like, it's just going to start again. Oh, man, what happened? Oh, wait, Krypton. Oh, I fucking hate that. Then they start chanting again.
The thing is, they're already against aliens and the Krypton people. And they just have this. They don't realize it's because of a Kryptonian virus. They're just like, you know what? I still agree with this. Why are we laying on the ground?
Say good kryptonite. How about that one? Would that be
Good
good?
kryptonite. Does that work? Is that what you want to say? Good kryptonite?
I'm saying like you want to say good night, but you put the crypto, and the crypto is in like a parentheses, so it's like night, but it's crypto night because we're gonna kill
Maybe
him.
it's something you should workshop a little bit.
How about this?
Not here. On your own time.
Get the kryptonite. Lex was always right, because I just go Lex. Then I just go full out Lex and start, shoving that down his throat. Like, hey, go over there. You don't have no hair. That's because Lex is teaming up with him now.
Well,
I'm not saying that I'm the biggest, greatest slogan maker or chanter, but I think I'm a little better. Then also what you do is you have the one guy with the sign, honk if you like cookies. It always works out, Eric. It gets everybody behind everything. But you're right, though. Omen kind of really does the comic booky thing here on her roller skates, but she mind wipes people. That's a no-no. And maybe you're setting up things, but I don't think so. Also, before that, maybe that's why we have things. What happened if it's revealed? And this is the genius of Aaliyah Williams. We find out that all the bullshit with Paige, like she says at this, I'm leaving my first voicemail. Oh, really? Your first voicemail? Maybe her mind was wiped. Maybe Omen keeps wiping her mind each day about not knowing shit. She finds out later, oh my God, I'm a CEO. My name's Karen.
For some reason, the idea of her like leaving her first voicemail to somebody bothers you. And I just want to think to myself, because I can't off the top of my head, go back in the comic books, anything Power Girl related, see if you could ever find her leaving a voicemail somewhere.
Are we going to find out any time that they explain to her with a dictionary definition of what an intern is? Because you didn't like that when we got that shit. She didn't know how to deal with. These are things that people don't even need to do, but would know how. She seems like she's like, oh my God, it's like my mom. When you have that first voicemail usually, and you should have played it. Most people, older people like my mother, think that you can hear that voicemail as if it was like an old answer machine. So you get the voicemail and it's like, I know you're there, pick up Jimmy. You're like, you stupid bitch. Like that's what
I can't even remember the last time I left a voicemail for anybody.
Yeah, really. This is my first text. This is my first 900 number. Oh my, Eric.
I still have never freaking dialed a 900 number. Actually, that's not true. I've dialed it, but I never paid for it. It was because of a payphone on the highway because I was scared.
Well, there you go. So you
but I wanted to know what it was like.
Yeah, you wanted to know what was up in the party line. Hey, where's all the hot ladies in here?
1-900 blowjob.
We're waiting for them too. What are you a lady? I am. I'm a pretty girl. That's what you get.
Kids are stupid.
It was one of those things too. But yeah, you end up where, again, everybody doesn't know about the virus, but until they do. But now they don't.
Or at least
wipe the minds of them. But are they the only ones who know? I don't know. But then you go back and Paige then is going to get some feels. And I did end up getting some feels with her and this lion, though not what's set up. Yeah, Hamlet. And did you get the idea? I said that it reminded me of the Batman Superman Tom Taylor when you had Batman and Superman sit there the last night as the sun's rising. Was it a Daxamite that was yes. The deal? And if people don't know, it was a really cool story back in the New 52. One of the things I really do like of Tom Taylor's. But in this, I was getting a bit of feels about the idea of, there's Karen and the idea of an animal or something like that that's the last of its kind. It doesn't have, friends. Everybody they know is dead. And now it's finally going to die and wants to just die in peace. I'm like, this is actually a pretty nice deal and something that I did get some feels with Paige here until he turns into a goddamn fucking symbiote robot out of nowhere.
It's not even that for me because she's sitting there. She's so worried about Hamlet. People are dying from a Kryptonian virus, but she's so worried about this goddamn lion she just found out about yesterday because she can relate to it, but it's dying. And it escaped from its habitat. She realized some animals leave its habitat when they're dying and want to be alone. I better to make sure it doesn't die alone. Walks outside the Fortress of Solitude to a cliffside where the lion is, and she lays down with it, and they just lay there until the lion dies, and she cries, gets up, walks away, turns around, and the lion's gone like a goddamn ghost in the night. She has no idea where it went, has to fly around X-ray vision. Somehow this lion got away, and she has no idea where it went. I don't even know how it got out of its fucking enclosure, let alone back in its enclosure for her to find out the symbiote lion that it is.
Why was it that quiet? She says, I didn't hear it at all.
I don't understand that part at all. How did it get away from her when she was right next to it?
You're never going to be able to explain it. Now, here's the thing, too. When you have this play, you can almost see what happened here in the play. Hey, Karen, Paige, Power Girl. Hey, PG, there's this Kryptonian virus. It's from your Krypton. Oh, my God, it's going to wipe out the planet. And then somebody got to Leah Williams, or they said, like, oh, wait, we can't do that because a lot of people will die. And again, when you have this scene where she's laying with the lion, if at this point it's a virus that's wiping out the entire world, that is complete bullshit. But now, out of nowhere,
let's all slow down. We don't got to worry.
it's a parasite. So at the most, one guy will die, one person will be infected. Oh, so we could do. It's such a weird pullback of a thing. The story seemed like it really meant something, though. You have to kind of laugh at the idea of, hey, by the way, Power Girl, there is a world-ending virus that is raging through. They said at points that people were just dying in other countries.
Well, at
and
what point
things.
it's a pandemic now? It might as well be a mouth monster.
Yeah. So why wasn't anybody else involved? Like the idea that Superman would say, there's a pandemic that's wiping out millions. You go to the fortress and figure it out. I got my own shit to do. Like it was so silly from the beginning to then pull it back in a way that doesn't make sense. Then you have the Blue Earthers because now it isn't a pandemic, but they think it is. But why would they? They get their mind wipes. Then you go here and this lion, you get the feels. It disappears. How did it get infected? It's just there with her. Why did it need to go through him to go to her? Because she was there with it. It makes no damn sense. And how do you end up doing that from a dead lion?
And not only that, then how does the dead lion, who's also a parasite-infested monster thing, infect Power Girl? Is the symbiote ship that's the parasite actually stronger than Power Girl? Because the lion itself is from a Krypton, but it's been stuck in an enclosure all this time.
I think that she just doesn't want to fight it.
But it's able to claw through her and infect her. And I'm like, how is that able to fight? That's like Superman fighting a lion and getting his ass beat.
Well, and that's the other thing. Now I'm thinking, too, like, there's no way. How does it get infected? We're never going to know. But I think that what Leah Williams, like, it's so ridiculous. The thought process, the idea that she doesn't want to have the lion die except naturally. So you do have the proud lion.
And sometimes that is better because when it comes back to life, it's a symbiote.
Isn't it funny? It dies, and the minute it dies, then it becomes a symbiote. That doesn't make any sense, but it ends up where Leah Williams, I think that she's thinking, well, at least then that if Paige starts to fight back, it's already dead. It doesn't make sense.
Did that dude in Bermuda not become a symbiote until he died?
Well, again, I thought that guy was like in Tampa Bay or so. Like the idea that there's anybody in Bermuda, like I don't even know where they were. They weren't at the fortress. It's its own thing in the middle of the ocean, but yet it seems like it's a hop.
But it's in the Bermuda Triangle, so I'm thinking, well, Bermuda's right by that. So
there's still, it's not like, I think that she thinks that the fortress is actually on the Bermuda Island. I don't get. This is bad, and it's bad in a way that it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I'm reading this, and if this was bad and it was Detective, or it was bad and it was Batman, then it would make things.
It has awesome art. I love the way that everybody looks in this comic. It's just kind of a snooze fest where things eventually happen. You have to scratch your head. Why did this happen? Why did things change in issue number 3 out of nowhere?
I have read a bunch of stories from her. This is actually better than a lot. Like, this is better when I remember I used to tell you the Mary Jane when she was on the movie set and Mysterio was disguised as a threat. That was Leah Williams. It was terrible. Things would happen that each issue, they just completely went against something else, but made no sense. And that's what's happening now. It's already happening in this. The idea of where did you get from world-ending virus to figuring out it's a parasite out of nowhere to then have it be the symbiote ship that is transferred into a dead lion that fights you, and now you're symbiote up as Paige is gone. I am now. I'm like, really? Like, first off, Superman's got a lot of splaining. Superman's just going to come in and say, wait a minute, I saw you dismantled. No, you didn't. I think I did and leave. And then again, it like this Kryptonian virus, it wasn't. It was actually a symbiote
A symbiote ship, but it comes from a Krypton that no longer exists.
Yeah, but how does that go from where then Superman, what intel is he getting? It was like, it's not now.
I don't even know how anybody who would figure this out would know it's from another Krypton that no longer exists.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a real virus anyway. It's the symbiote ship. Are you just going with the idea of it's like a computer virus and we're just going to fudge it? Get the IT department in here. Get that. Get Krypton.
It's just an alien Kilgore now.
Cyborg's going to come in. It is. I mean, yeah, there you go. And when you get to the end and it is, Paige is gone. I am now symbiote. Supergirl, Page, Power Girl.
9, 10, never Page again.
When you do this, like it ends up like it doesn't even feel like a Power Girl story. It's completely gone off the rails. But what would you give it?
Ultimately, like I said, I think the art is great throughout. It's the strongest point of this book, but everything just feels so out of whack and out of sorts. Even how the story is being told, fudged here, and the things that it focuses on are so weird and out of sorts. And I just find myself scratching my head at what the logic is behind this 4 out of 10.
I think I'm a 3-5. I like to where if I'm put, I get it. I'm part of Blue Earth, and I'm like, oh my God, the Kryptonians, they have a virus that's going to kill humans. Get me my Molotov cocktails. And they're just throwing at a random 7-Eleven.
Dude, it's a riot. What are you doing?
Again, though, but they're there protesting in there. It doesn't even feel like a riot. It feels more like a protest. It just doesn't feel right. Everything's ridiculous. They're smashing cars with their signs. I don't get it. I don't get it, but it's really bad. But we'll end with...
wake up, people. The Kryptonians are bad. I'm going to smash your shit until you wake up, you sheeple.
You ain't getting your burger bites. I'm going to take care of this. Kryptonians are bad. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll side with the Kryptonians. Also, when you're doing that again, where are the Kryptonians? You got a lot in there, and they're just letting this bullshit go, and Omen's going around their fucking roller skates.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.